Understanding darkness without fear. I tend to believe that we are everything. And because we are everything, we also have the ability to allow our own dark or gray to come out. So I bring the energy of compassion to any clearing and any being, even if it looks or feels yucky. I learned this very clearly through the mark clearing work. What I saw was that we all carried dark or gray influence. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that we didn't know our own power. We were born already allowing our power to be taken away. And the dark knows that. Why humans are vulnerable. Early on, we became veiled. We agreed to be shielded from some of this information. That means they, the dark and the gray, know the rules. They know how to play the game, and we don't, at least not at first. So part of this class is simply learning how to be on Earth, learning how this works. Fear as an entry point. One of the biggest ways we attract infiltration, interferences, entities, or any of the things that we're talking about here is fear. I've had teachers who used fear to keep a hook in students. They know a special tool. They know someone special. They imply that you're unsafe without them. That keeps you out of your power. Everything I'm teaching you here is nothing you shouldn't know. Honestly, we should be taught this in school. Just like we should be taught how to channel and how to interpret dreams and how energy works. You don't need to be afraid. Yes, you can come to me for a clearing. Yes, you can hire someone for a clearing. But you can also do all of that yourself. There is no need to be afraid. If you walk into a creepy place, get the chills, or have a strange experience, you don't need to be afraid. If you have dreams that show creepy things happening, again, no reason to be afraid. If you get infiltrated, you have tools to clear yourself. If an entity attaches and you feel depressed, you can say, okay, that's what's happening. I know how to clear this. No drama. Feel confident using your gifts and not just using them privately, but being seen. Because a lot of the fear, heaviness, and non-beneficial feelings we pick up on come from other people's energy, other people's projections, other people's anger. That doesn't mean that they're bad. It means we're sensitive, and if we don't like carrying that, we don't have to. Keep in mind that often you will project your own fears onto yourself and it will feel like it's coming from someone else. Maybe you had an interaction with someone and you think that they might be doing it, but it might just be you. So this is where being compassionate is increasingly important. You may be pulling demons that you created out of yourself. Do you want that part of you to be treated compassionately, or do you want it to be judged harshly? Categories of non-beneficial influence. Some categories of non-beneficial influences are infiltrations, interferences, entities, demons, curses, hexes, spells, non-beneficial energy, and frequencies, implants, marks, pursuers, watchers, reflections, listening devices. I deal with them all a little differently. This is the landscape that we're working in. We will always talk about these beings and energies in a grounded way without fear. In energetic hygiene, we will learn how to clear, transform, or remove using precise language and movements, portals, watchers, reflections, and listening devices. And we will also do this work behind a monitored portal. As we go on in this class, we're going to focus heavily on the language we use when addressing them. Language matters, and it's a double-edged sword. It can be used against us, and we can use it incorrectly. A simple creative assignment. To start getting used to being creative, I want you to come up with one single line of language yourself. This exercise helps you shift from following techniques of someone else to authoring your own. Just one line. I know you don't have any examples yet. Stick with it. This line should be in the form of a declaration, a statement of protection. Think of it as writing one line of code or similar to an affirmation. This is about you writing your language and helps your protections become yours. Now that you have your one line of language, try to poke holes in it. Could it stand up in the court of law? How can you improve it to make it ironclad? Why permissions matter. Now I want to talk about permissions because this is extremely important. There are two kinds of permissions I'm talking about. The first is that different practitioners have different levels of permissions to do different things. Just because we can do something doesn't mean it's in our highest and best interest to do it. Why some clearings don't work. Sometimes a clearing doesn't work because the practitioner doesn't have permission to clear that specific thing. Sometimes it's because that person doesn't actually want to be cleared. Sometimes it's because it's not in their highest and best interest at that time. When I say cleared, I mean anything on this list: implants, pursuers, marks, all of it. My personal ethics around permission. Raymond Grace has a very high permission level. He can do things that I can't do, at least right now. He can clear without asking physical permission. I've seen him do it. I will not do any clearing, though, on an adult without their explicit physical permission. I don't ask higher selves for permission as a rule. I'm not comfortable with that. The only exceptions are like children with parental permission, someone who's incapacitated, like in a coma, when a family member asks. And in those cases, I may ask the higher self. Why I personally don't bend this rule: my permissions have evolved over time. They may continue to evolve, but right now, this is my boundary. I'll be very clear with you. Ask permission in the physical before you do anything. I once did a clearing where I thought I had permission carried over from a previous session, but I didn't. I got a dream showing that I picked up a small amount of karma, literally like 5 cents of karma. If you regularly do things without permissions or beyond your permission level, your permissions can be revoked. Your work will stop working. I've seen this happen before. Losing and regaining permission. I saw this with an energy healer who did work without consent. Eventually, nothing worked anymore. She did regain it, but it took a lot of work. Can permissions be restored? Yes, but it depends. A common trap is thinking, oh, I'm in the light, so I can do what others can't. That's ego. That's not the light. Rules are rules. It doesn't matter if you're a dark angel or you. The rules apply equally. Learning through feedback and dreams. Every technique I use came through trying it, then watching my dreams. Seeing what worked, seeing what didn't, tweaking language, refining approach. That's due diligence. Sometimes your dreams will show you that you or someone else is infiltrated, and in the same dream, it will give you direction on what to do about it. Grace at the beginning of the journey. At the beginning of your journey, whether it's healing, channeling, remote viewing, you're given a lot of grace. You're allowed to make mistakes. But you must pay attention to things you might be regularly leaving out or forgetting to do. Pay attention to your feelings. Pay attention to how people respond. Of course, your dreams. Ask your higher self or guides to show you if something is off. Practice versus mastery. In the beginning, things will work even if you're doing them imperfectly. As you continue, your language needs to tighten. Your precision needs to increase. Your ethics need to stay clean. Your techniques will work well while you're practicing, but long term, you must use correct language, clear permission, and always work behind the monitored portal. That's how you stay clean and clear.